Alright, the second kit has been posted for Takina Inoue, so let's talk a little bit about her for the Licorice Recoil collaboration with NIKKE, and if it's going to be worth pulling for her or not whenever she drops in a couple of weeks. Once again, kit pre-analysis, not first impressions, not final review, not anything, just japping with the boys. I don't like her kit. That's my early impressions. I don't like her kit, but I will wait until we can test. Will I do a post about her on the title and thumbnail? Yes. Do I think she can be good, depending on what Shift Up does? Yes, that's it. Once again, just like the previous character, no fan service, no nothing, okay? Don't expect any fan service in this collaboration. My god, that's loud, I'm sorry guys. The burst animation itself, don't like them, either of them I don't like, that's whatever. Her kit it's a weird kit, so there is a few things to first talk before we go into this. First, hello degenerates, welcome back to Waifus. I'm Sefhi, your favorite gambling addict. Leave a like, subscribe, help me grow the channel. Second, and the important one, supporter B2 Iron Sniper Rifle, but she transforms into a shotgun when she is bursting. So if we go back here, we mute her, she is a shotgun on her burst, and she is a little bit faster than normal shotguns, as you can see. So I am wondering if that will be enough to make up for how basic her kit is, but let's show her kit and then we can discuss this a little bit. Like I was saying, this is supporter B2 sniper rifle iron, pretty basic stats when it comes to her weapon at the 69.04, 1 second charge time, 250 on core, 250 on full charge, 200 on core. The basic stuff for a sniper rifle. Her skills, and what I said I don't really like it, this is a support B2. In order to compete with B2s for the most part, you are looking at buffers, right? Like if we talk about B2s at the moment, it's buffers. The only DPS it's Red Hook, and she's not a B2, she is a B3 or a B1, right? So when we talk about these characters, you have to be a really good buffer in order to compete with them, in order to be able to be entering that meta. You could say Enwa is a nice sub DPS depending on how you build her, same for Breathe, same for Grave, right? But for the most part, and Nayuta of course, but for the most part it's gonna be support characters. And she seems to be more of a selfish DPS with some utility on her skill 2, but skill 1, combat support, passive, activates at the start of the battle and when full burst ends. She gets 80% attack for 5 seconds, so this is 5 seconds. She will not have 100% uptime on this. Activates when entering full burst, affecting herself, true damage increased by 35% for 15 seconds. She might be able to have almost full time on this because rotations are pretty fast and it should not take you more than 5 seconds to go into the next rotation, depending on your team composition, obviously. Pretty basic skill 1, that attack buff is good because it's 80%, but it's only 5 seconds, making it pretty bad because it's only at the beginning of the battle and when the full burst ends. Then you have battlefield control, and this is my problem with her kit. This is a 15-second active skill. 15-second active skill. Damage taken increased by 10% for 5 seconds. Only for 5 seconds. So you have to wait another 10 seconds before you get another damage taken, and it's only 5 seconds. And then she stuns for 2 seconds. When it comes to stuns, don't take a stun as something that is fantastic or something that is like, oh, it's like privacy. There is a lot of characters that can stun that people forget. Mostly Little Mermaid, most people don't remember she can stun. Same for Rapunzel, same for Uni. A stun itself is not a new mechanic. It's something that's always been niche, but on Privacy did work. First because of the PvP, and second because her buffs rather than the stun itself, right? On her case, it's a 2-second stun, but you gotta wait once again another 15 seconds in order to proc it again. Her uptime on skill 2 is awful. I don't like it at all. The second part, which is for all allies, it increases true damage by 140%. And this is what I think, okay, maybe you can put her on a team with Bestie, with the new girl, maybe with Ain, maybe with the Laplace Treasure, and these characters can take advantage of this 140% increase and a big one with CDR, whoever it is, right? Maybe that is the case, maybe that's where you can slot her. But at the first glance, I just don't like her kit because it feels kinda niche. But again, maybe Shift Up does surprise us. And then lastly, we have her first skill, Suppression Initiation 20 seconds, thank god, where she changes her weapon to a shotgun, like we said earlier, doing 200% damage, pretty standard for shotguns. and then her normal attacks will deal 2 damage with also an extra damage taken of 6% for 5 seconds. But the problem with this is that it targets hit. For bosses, it's fine. When there are multiple enemies, a shotgun throwing, what, 10 pellets? 10? 12 pellets? What was the base count for pellets? I forgot. I think it's 10. You will most times not hit multiple enemies. Will hit only one. For bosses, it should be fine because you can keep this 100% uptime while you are on full burst. The problem is that if you want to stack it up with this one, in order to get the 15-16% damage taken, right? You can't really do it because this is a 15%, sorry, this is a 15-second cooldown active skill. So it's going to be pure RNG, and depending on how fast your rotations are, if both of them line up on your full burst or not. That's what I don't like her kit. I feel this skill 2 should not be an active or should be easier to stack. We have characters that can permanently apply damage taken. So it's not like it would be impossible to add that, right? So I don't know, a little bit weird on that skill 2. I don't like it. Also, when it comes to her shotgun form, it seems she shoots a little bit faster than normal shotguns, and Tarsis was saying that she might not be able to benefit from the attack speed boosts that Taupe is providing because she's already faster, but we'll see. We, as far as I know, don't know the cap on attack speed. If we know, please let me know in the comments down below and I'll pin that comment. That said, like I said earlier, I personally don't like her kit, so I'm happy we're getting Chisato first, so I can just invest in her, be happy with that, and then whenever Takina comes next week, I believe it is, we will be testing her. Once again, I don't want to be too negative until we can actually test her, because she might actually turn out to be a good character like plenty of times in the past when it comes to NIKKE, but on paper, I'm leaning more towards Chisato being the useful character out of the two rather than Takina. That said, enough ranting, enough japping. That's basically everything for this video. As usual, we will be live later pulling for Chisato, testing her, and maybe the new treasures, depending on how long it takes. Links in the description for all of that. Good luck with your pull, the edits, and I'll see you on the next one.